Have you ever took a journey to the other side? Come on, take a ride. Have you ever took a journey? We gon' feel alive. You gon' feel the life.
All right, man. Hey, man, it's always good to be back with my boy. Having a chance to visit and just kind of talk things out. Most importantly, the individual that we're going to have on this show, we just going to keep it live, keep it real, breakfast with the boys, enjoy the process, talk about some things that might be uncomfortable, talk about some things that are comfortable. But bottom line, just enjoy the process. God is good. God has given us some great opportunities, and I'm loving it, man. Having you on the side, having my boy on the side. But, here we are, Breakfast with the Boys, episode 4. Whoever thought we would have made it to episode 4, man? Matter of fact, whoever thought I would have had a podcast, let alone, I didn't even know what podcasts were, let alone, have a podcast. But I said, you know what, I can have some fun with this, And so I had, I got, had Tony Dorsett on, the Beast from the East, and I had Drew Pearson, 2 peas in a pod, and I had Roger Staubach, Dodger Roger Staubach, and
wow.
And man, we got a big guy coming on. Matter of fact, we got to talk some real stuff because I think we got a lot in common from the standpoint of when we played and some honors that I think both of us deserve. But what, we're gonna talk about that. I know you're gonna be able to ring us through that. But when we talk today, it's a smorgasbord. Bottom line is, hey, when you come to eat at our place, that's all you can eat. If you don't like what you're eating here, just go on over there. That's the kind of way we're going to have. And so, I'm having a great time, Anthony. And I think what's best, though, if you lead us on into this next segment, for our listeners out here and the people that are watching. This is my son, the other side of the beast over here. I'm the best from the West, and we had the beast from the East, and we got the mouth from the South, but you said you didn't want to go out that way, so talk to me.
Talk to me, man. Yes, we got another episode of Breakfast with the Boys. And just like you said, man, it's a smorgasbord. We talk about it all. You can't start the episode without talking a little bit of breakfast. We chowed down here, but I want to say that, the Breakfast of Champions, you can't go out without some OJ, right? When I think OJ, I think that Tropicana OJ is where you.
Oh, you going Tropicana on them? Okay.
That is always it, man. So when you're starting your day right, you got to go with some Tropicana that'll wash down whatever you get. But like you said, man, I'm excited to be here today. We got a great group here. We might need to deem this table the table of legends because I've only seen legends sit here today. We have another one here today. So let's get right into it, man. I think.
Well, let's do this though. We talk about. Go ahead, because I know you got to talk about Kurt. And you got to talk about our boys putting this together, though, because, we've been really blessed to have them situations there.
Oh, yeah. When we get right into it, that's where we get right into it.
Okay, there you go. Do your thing.
The people who make the magic happen, you guys know every time before you start listening to us, you know if you got to think about, have you ever took a journey? Yeah. And to this point, man, my niece, every time I go to your house, man, you got Lux over there. Y'all be jamming out to Kurt McGirt. So we always got to show Kurt some love. We got to show our boys here, murraymedia.net. For giving us this beautiful studio and making sure that things get done. And they're the reason that, again, we're sitting here at Legendary Table. When I talk about Legendary Table, man, I'm talking about a guy who is one of 2 people ever to lead the NFL in interceptions 3 years, him and Ed Reed. I'm talking about a Super Bowl champion. I'm talking about a guy who also led the NCAA in interceptions. I'm talking about a guy who also was 3-4-time All-Pro? You might have to correct me on that.
3 times.
3 times. There you go.
I could lie.
Hey, you could lie. In this internet era, they'll look it up on me, though, right?
Right.
So, hey, Everson Walls, man, I want to say thank you for coming out and joining us here today.
Thank you, Anthony, man. You just don't know, man. I saw you grow up, bro. Man, you started off I remember you playing soccer, and you wouldn't even play in the game. You were sitting down at midfield picking flowers. You remember that? He wasn't even thinking about playing soccer.
He didn't have no love for the soccer, boy. Yeah, you ain't lying. Hey, but let's do this though. Let's give praise, to Almighty above. Let's give all our blessings to Him because the bottom line, we wouldn't be here where we are. We would have not learned or absorbed what we've leared, if it wasn't for the big fella. So, in all praise, let's give that to Him, man.
Sir. Amen.
But hey, so as we talk about that big fella. And Anthony, I kind of want to go back into the history. Walls. I call you Walls, man. What really threw me for a loop. There's 2 people, or actually 3, because Dorsett's wife does it as well. But there's 3 people that really most of my teammates refer to me as Thrill or Tony. But there's 3 people. Walls refers to me Thrill or Hill. But your wife, Adrian Springs, Miss Dorsett, Janet, they call hey Hill. You know, I ain't never been approached by no women, you know, that's called me by my last name, hey, Hill, you know. And so, you know, I just want to say, you know, that's something special to me because, you know, all I got to do is hear that ring in the back. I know what's happening. It's Sherelle, or it's Adrian, or it's Dorset's wife, you know. So, hey, you know, it's all good, man. But
I have in my phone, I have you as Thrill.
Do you?
That's it. I don't have Hill, no Tone, just Thrill.
All right, cool.
That's how
cool.
I have it in my phone.
So, Cubby, man. How'd you get the name Cubby, though?
Yeah.
That's actually a sweet story. That's the first name I had.
Okay.
That's the first name I had. When I was born, I had hair all over my face.
Okay.
I don't know why, because I didn't shave till I was like 25.
Hey, you still got that baby face. What you talking about, man?
I used to pick them with tweezers, my little hairs I had back
when you were
as a professional ball player.
Right.
When I was with the Cowboys, I didn't even shave it. I used tweezers because I
really
had mess hair.
Because you didn't have it a few years.
But when I was born, I looked like Wolfman, I guess. I don't know, but the nurses thought I was so cute. They thought I looked like a little cub bear. So they told my mom, he looks like a little cub bear, and that's when she named me Cubby. So
all right.
That's just that simple.
All right,
that simple.
You know, and here's the thing. You know, you talk about Walls. You know, and we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. As you can see, I digress, Walls. I go from here. I'm talking football. Next thing you know, we're going to be talking about basketball.
That's how we talk for real. That's how we talk for real.
We just roll. You know.
Yeah.
But you know. Berkner, he went to Berkner High School. See, Anthony's playing on East over here. You know that? Did you know that?
I saw him play. I went to one of his playoff games.
All right, there we go.
Come on, man. So I know about this kid.
All right,
Come on.
Hey, I'm excited to hear about your experience at Berkner because when I was playing in the late 2000s, Berkner was food for us. You know, we saw in the district. You saw Berkner on the schedule. I was like, man, this is a stat padding game. I'm not gonna give you 25 and 15.
So I hate to hear that, man.
Oh man! And so when what was it like for you growing up in Berkner, right over there on Hamilton Park? Pops, we got a funny story of Hamilton Park. We're gonna have to tell later, but
no, we're gonna have to tell after we film.
When it came to Berkner, man, it was on the heels of a lot of civil strife, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, we were integrated. I mean, we're talking about Hamilton Park being integrated into the Richardson school system. You know, so we were like 5 years removed from that, and so it was always still a lot of strife in regards to that. So being at Berkner was like I was trying to do my best to do well for myself just so I could leave.
Right.
I really I didn't have much allegiance to it because almost every day was a fight, back in junior high and leading up to high school. So, it's Texas, man. It's Dallas. It was Richardson at the time. They didn't know how to deal with that influx of African Americans coming into the system. And man, it was just always about the civil strife and always about us trying to find our way as a small percentage of that student body population. You're talking about, I think we had 750 guys, 750 in our class in 1977. Mm-hmm. You might have had 20 of us.
Blacks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 20 blacks.
We call it like it is, baby.
Yeah.
20 of us, we know what time it is, baby.
20 brothers and sisters, and that's just the way it was. So we always felt like our backs was against the wall. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of the attitude there. But when we played now, it's always different when you're on the team. My teammates was my teammates,
right?
Especially when it came to basketball. Right. I love basketball more than football. Especially at that time. It's just the way it was. I was a better basketball player at the time. I didn't want to play football at all. And then, of course, civil strife, I got kicked off the damn team, because of some crap that went down. So football to me was, it saved me because I wasn't playing sports at all.
Right.
I didn't play I got kicked off my sophomore year, didn't play my junior year. So I was like, I got to do something. So I went to the coach and asked him if I could play. I went to Coach Allen Holiday. Asking if I could play in spring ball because spring
coming
ball
up that
was
year.
coming up
For fall.
I know the itinerary.
Right.
If you're gonna play in the fall, you better make your way in the spring.
Right, there we go.
That I always knew. So I knew that my time was running out, and so I went to the coach and asked him. Coach Allen Holiday, to this day, well, I don't even know if he's still alive. I hadn't heard much about him, but he has supported me from that moment, all the way up until. I was inducted into Berkner's little Ring of Honor.
Nice.
He's always been there for me. The words he said to me was, I said, Coach, I came to him humbly. You got to know when to humble yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to know when to humble
There you
yourself.
go.
And I was one of those brothers, I didn't give a damn about none of that. You know, so, but I came to him
Right.
as a man. Man, I looked him in his eyes because that's what your dad teaches you.
Right.
Coach, I want to play spring ball. He looked at me and he goes, okay, but I don't want no shit out of you.
Oh.
That's exactly what he said.
Put it on
Because he
blank,
know
right?
what I was about because I was about that shit.
Right, right,
You know?
right.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what we were. And so, you know, he let me play, and I've always been indebted to him for that. Because if it's not for that, I ain't sitting here.
Right,
That's
right.
just the way it is. I'm not going to find a place to play in college if I don't play that 1 year. Nobody knew about me anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I led the district in interceptions.
And we was going to
I
go
was
there.
newcomer of the year. All of that kind of stuff.
No, dog. Your resume's strong.
Yeah,
I hate
you
to
know.
say this. I mean, I really hate to say this because I've been with you, been playing with you. I've always known you good. I know you've done this, but I didn't know you was that strong.
Yeah.
So, because we play basketball, we competitive. You know, hey, he want to play me tight. You know, hey, I want to get him off me, and Walls got them hands. He want to reach in, and I'm trying to push. I mean, we go after it. You know,
Yeah.
but that's what it's all about.
We always did. We always had this thing.
You know,
I don't know
but
what
here's
it
the
was.
thing. You know what? Here's the good thing though. See, I knew athletes came out of Hamilton Park. I knew Everson Walls came out of Hamilton Park.
Spider
anyway.
Lockhart. Spider Lockhart,
Spider
New York
Lockhart came out
Giants.
of-
I went to
okay.
school with his whole family. We right there in Hamilton Park.
Well,
yeah.
check this out though. We knew athletes because I was AAU coach, so I was a basketball coach. And Anthony tell you, I didn't take no mess over there.
Right.
If you went up for a layup on the left side and you use your right hand, guess what I did? I put you on the bench. I don't care if you miss it. I just want you to. You got to make it.
It's
You can't
about
get better
teaching.
if you don't. Exactly. You got to get better. But so here's the deal, Walls. We looking for guys, Matter of fact, we pulled Cole Beasley off a Hoop It Up team.
You always told me about
wait
that.
a minute. We had Hoop It Up. He's the only white guy on this all-black team tearing it up, the smallest guy.
And he's talking smack while he's doing it too.
I said, hey, what do you think about him? He goes, yeah. And I need big guys. I don't need no little guys. I need
He's a
big
little
guys.
guy.
But Cole could bring it. And this was like 10 years old, and I had him ever since. But I'm trying to fortify my team, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, man, where we gonna find us an athlete over here? I'm talking about I'm a real serious coach.
Yeah.
I'm hitting the neighborhoods over here. Guess where we at? I'm over in Hamilton Park.
It's the only black neighborhood around. It's
Over
the
the
only
little
black
park,
neighborhood.
over the little shed with behind the
That's
church.
right.
Oh, hey.
The gazebo.
The gazebo. Hey, guys, you got to see the gazebos. But that's what it's all about because, and like, again, I played basketball with chain links. I didn't have string. It was chain.
That's what we had, too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where
You
I
hit
grew
it
up.
right, boy. One of them chains to pop off. Yeah.
That's what we played. You
Yeah.
can see that. But we go over to Hamilton Park, brother, and I see this brother playing over on the court over. I say, hey, man, what do you think? I said, we got to have this dude. And Ann says, let me check him out a little bit more. We bring my boy out. We pick him up. He come down. He gives us all. I mean, he wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the
Who was
fastest.
this?
His name was Jerry. Boy, could he get up? That's what
Yeah,
it was.
right.
Because like you said, we needed big guys, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't the biggest, and I'm like, Pop, man, I don't know about this, right?
Yeah.
And to keep in mind, right, we're in 6th grade,
Right.
so at that point, if you could touch the rim, you would getting
Oh,
up there.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So my man comes and he had no socks.
No
I'll
socks.
never forget
Well,
this.
Mike Tyson. We had Mike Tyson on the court. Hey. He had no socks over there. Hey.
And
Don't take your shoes off. Hey, after you finish, you just keep your shoes over there.
he comes to court not stretching or anything, and we're doing our layups, and it's unorthodox. And he comes up here and finger rolls it right at the rim. And I said, look at
Wow.
my dad. I said, oh, okay, we got something
Yeah.
here. So, Pops, I never told you this, man, and we might need to get into this. You might have missed out on a calling to be a GM. And the way you are, or a scout over here, I know that
I pulled out a couple of them.
Yeah.
I some gaps on that, too.
yeah, between that, you put out a few of them, man. We had some guys that were not heard of before you got them, man. That they ended up going big time ball, like Jeremy.
He has the eye. He has the eye.
You had the eye.
The eye for talent.
We were at what's that hamburger place? We was I saw this dude 6'8", 6'9". I said, "She, I don't care if he can walk, he can play on our team." Hey. Back in the
Red Robin, that's where we were at. Red Robin.
Red Robin, ninth grade. Well, this guy's 6'8", 6'9",
Wow.
still over here. I should have known something was wrong. If he working over there and ain't got no swag about it. He just walking like this. Had no swag. But I said, you know what, 6'9", he can play for us.
Did you work with him?
We couldn't work with him though. We tried. He instantly made the team. Hey, you know how you guys tried,
Yeah.
and the coaches, and the guys were cool at first until he took that first shot.
Well, here's the thing before we go too far down it. This is our freshman year when he finds this guy, 6'9", 6'10". He was a junior. We were playing seniors anyway, so it didn't matter. Hey, we're playing up. He was playing our team. Once we found out he was 6'10", 6'9", a junior on JV, that's when we said, wait a second.
Yeah, something's wrong.
This might not be able to go.
Yeah, that's what changed the scope of the game.
He's an underachiever. He's an underachiever.
Hey, man, yeah, we kind of changed the scope of the game. So, hey, man, growing up, I mean, basketball is your love. You know what's crazy, man? Basketball is my love, man.
Yeah.
Love basketball to the T, you know. And all off season, that's all I used to do was play basketball. That's
how we would stay in shape.
Right.
Back in the day, we barnstormed the country.
Right, playing
and
basketball.
for charity, playing basketball. They wouldn't allow you to do that today.
Right.
You can't have these $100 million athletes out there. What was that? Mahomes dunked a basketball one time on video, and they had a fit.
Right.
They said, man, you are not touching another basketball again as long as you play for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
And we were out there playing 30 games in the offseason.
We were.
Not to mention just hooping it up, just around the area.
Just doing our thing. But so who inspired you, though, man? I mean, football, did you
I was always inspired by
did you have a
different
person
athletes.
in particular? I mean,
Muhammad Ali, man.
Boom. I mean,
Muhammad Ali. I mean, back then, he kind of spoke for me. But the issues that we were having at the time, it spoke directly to me. Not just Muhammad Ali and the way his courage.
Right.
You can talk all the trash you want, but what kind of courage do you have to speak it?
His conviction.
Yeah, to speak it when everybody's against you.
Right.
And I took pride in doing that myself. I got that from him and from my pops.
Right.
But then when you look at those that did it in another way, Lou Alcindor,
boom,
when he changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I saw with my own eyes how the whole nation changed against him. It wasn't just what he did; it was the reaction to what he did.
Right.
And the fact that everyone turned against him just because he changed his name.
Right.
I think I was 12, 13 years old at the time, and I was I don't know what it was. It broke my heart on how they treated him because first of all, he was always my favorite athlete, favorite basketball player.
Well, here
That's Sky Hook, like man.
All right,
Come on, man.
That's a bad boy.
And his accomplishments. It wasn't just that he was good individually. He was good as a teammate.
Right.
And so that taught me a lot on how you carry yourself. You can talk all trash you want. I'm not necessarily a Muhammad Ali, but if you're not Muhammad Ali, you can be Kareem because they did it two different ways. One did it by his actions, by his faith, and the other one he did it through his words and his actions. It's hard to win when everyone else is against you. It's tough to do. He's out there. You know how it is. They take your spirit if they're not behind you. If you're weak enough and you know they're not behind you, it can take your spirit. Muhammad Ali never let that happen. As a matter of fact, he brought the strife to himself. He brought it. He wanted more, and he went out there and showed out. That really inspired me to say, okay, things can be done in an untraditional manner, and that's pretty much the way my entire career was untraditional. Yeah.
No, I like it, big fella. I like it. I look back on that Ali, man. You really going back. That's strong because know what? That's when I was probably a couple years older than you. So we were going to the gym. And sitting outside with the transistor radio, listen to the fight, in between games. I mean, that's how tough he was, and would miss a game just to make sure I could hear Ali. Because it didn't want him to lose under any circumstances.
Oh man! When he won against Foreman,
right?
I went outside. I'm a kid.
Sure.
They didn't even show it on. You couldn't see it on the TV. Right. Remember, it was through the radio at the time.
Exactly.
And it was like a delayed program or something. When he won, I went outside my mom's house and I just screamed. I don't know why. Nobody else cared, but I cared, bro. I was 12, 13 years old, and I think I was 15 at the time.
Right.
We won in '75, I think. But man, that was just. It made me feel so good because I was afraid for him. Big George. I was afraid for Ali.
Yeah, you rooting for your man.
I thought he was going to get hurt.
Trust me. I mean, Foreman was lifting people out the ring. It wasn't like one of these blows where you turn your head a little bit. He was hitting you and lifting you off the ring. He fought Joe Frazier. My man, he hit Joe Frazier, man, with an uppercut. My man came off the ground 3 feet. I mean, there's a different story when you get hit with an uppercut. You just move your head. You know, so like, my man lifted him with the air. You know, I'm talking about that's how strong this guy was.
He hit him. He hit him in the back of the head, and he tried to run.
Right.
I mean, his body wasn't even his mind and his body was not connected. He was trying to run out the ring before George Foreman knocked him down a 6th time. Yeah.
So, it's interesting to hear you say that. I think about y'all telling it firsthand experience, right? Having been there and lived it, and then you look at how people are remembered through history versus how it actually was, right? Muhammad Ali now it's a popular thing to say, oh, I'm inspired by him. He was everyone's favorite athlete. Kareem right now, man, is, if you've ever read any of the pieces he writes, like they're admiring him left and right, and he's the voice. But you think about what they had to go through to get there, right? Similar to MLK, Malcolm X, and like at the time they killed MLK, right? Now we got MLK Day, and everybody everywhere is quoting it. What's that like for y'all, man? Not only to have those be the people you looked up to, but I think about you guys playing in Dallas at the time you played in, and and to see how that's evolved, and how people look at you after the fact.
Well, it all comes from it has a start, and with me. My neighborhood itself is typical of the strife in the 70s and the 60s and the 70s. This neighborhood was infused into the North Dallas area, the only black community on the 4 North side. And so you could imagine all of the things that our parents had to go through, integrated into the school district. Everything we did was... we had to. We were the first ones. My sister was part of the first graduating class of that integration into the school district. Even when we played in the leagues, Spring Valley Athletic Association, just being allowed to play there, that was something that was amazing. They didn't even want us to play against their kids, and we had to go through that as well. We were the first ones to go through that. Hillcrest, off of Hillcrest, you had the swimming pool over there off of Hillcrest, Churchill. We had to integrate that as well. They wouldn't even let us come swim over there. We had a little old tub down at Hamilton Park by the gazebo.
By the gazebo.
By the gazebo.
I didn't even see the tub.
The tub was gone. We got rid of the tub.
We could barely see the gazebo, but I didn't see the tub. You know what I'm saying?
The tub was gone by the time, because we were integrated now. Right. So we integrated a lot of things. So that was always our attitude. I could just imagine what our parents would always go through because we were integrating the school districts as well. So we take all of that with us, and that was part of my. It was just part of me. It was part of my DNA to it be infused into something, to force yourself into something and make them want you to be there. And so that was always tough to do. I had athletes that we grew up with in Hamilton Park that were amazing athletes. They come from a family of amazing athletes. But when you go to the school district and you want to make the team, they don't even let you make the team because your mom don't bake muffins and bring them to the PTA meetings and all that kind of stuff because they're working all the time. You see? So that's the kind of stuff that we brought with us. So when I came to the Cowboys, that's why I was a little bit more stubborn than most athletes. Being from the area, I chose the Cowboys because I called the devil you knew. I knew how the Cowboys treated you guys. I knew what they did to Rayfield Wright. 13 years in the league. Then they ship him off to Philly. I was a kid reading this stuff. So, why do you think I ended up at Grambling State? I didn't want to go to East Texas State. That's just an extension of Bergner. I didn't want an extension I didn't want more Bergner. I remember Brad Sham said this as eloquently as anybody. He said Walls didn't need a Power 5 school. Walls needed Grambling.
There you go.
And that's true. Right. It's just real. It's just real. I needed that because my identity was damaged big time from everywhere you go. It's always a fight. It's always a confrontation.
Well, Dallas was the South, though. They say Southwest, but Dallas was the South, so to speak. When I came here, it was like, wow, I just couldn't believe what was happening. You got to remember, I come from Southern California. I'm a California boy. It's like,
The leagues were already integrated when you came up, right?
No,
Y'all didn't have to worry about all of that stuff.
Right. A totally different environment, so to speak. But here's the crazy thing about it. I mean, we're talking about that, but I'm go left again. I hit that freeway. I just turned left. So you chose the Dallas Cowboys. Now here's the deal. When I came from Stanford, I went to Stanford, of course, and I came to the Dallas Cowboys, and to Stanford we had a terrible facility. I mean, our stuff was the best, dog.
Stanford?
Now it's state of the art. But when I was back there, football, athletics was like a minor. All I knew is they threw the ball 50 times a game. If I got a chance to get part of that, I might be where I'm at today. That's another story. But that's why I went there. I mean, I'd love to say, Stanford was academic school, but hey, I went there because they threw the ball 50 times a game. That's the bottom line.
I did not know. I thought you really went because of the intellect that you had.
Thank you very much, sir. And I didn't tell him to say that. I just want to let you know that.
I thought you just.
But I had to be able to get in, though. So
right.
There's some substance to that.
Nah, your pops taught you well.
Yeah, our pops want to do, hey, if you can play football, basketball, baseball, he's solid. Hey, moms are saying, hey, that's another story.
Well, that's family. Family.
But so here's the deal, though. You go to Grambling, and understand this for our listeners and our people. I mean, here you go. Senior in high school, lead the district. Senior in college, lead the nation. First year in the NFL, lead the league in interceptions.
First 2 years.
Okay, let me get this right. First 2 years, right? But the thing is, though, I'm going a step before that. You come to Dallas, and you're practicing in your backyard. See, for a lot of people don't realize this. Hamilton Park was matter of fact, that was almost part of Hamilton Park.
It was.
I mean, it was if anything, it was like a street extension. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And our facility was terrible. It was outdoors.
Horrible.
With a shack with a little fence around it. Everybody could watch.
There was not enough room to park in the parking lot for all the cars.
Right. Isn't that a shame?
I don't even know how we got all the cars in the parking lot.
That's amazing. And you picked the Dallas Cowboys. Now talk to me about that, man.
It's like I said, when you know where your devils are, when you know where the landmines are. I knew where the landmines were. I never did appreciate the way Gil Brandt or Tex Schramm or Tom Landry treated the players. Right. I never did. And I'm at Grambling now, and I'm big time at Grambling. I'm a big man on campus now.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right, sure.
And I'm thinking I don't need anybody. I'm doing well. I was balling out. I was graduating. My woman was graduating with me. My best friend was one of the guys on the team. We were running the campus. Us three was running the campus simply because, we showed respect for everyone else on their campus, and we held our head up at all times on their campus. We represented Grambling as well as anybody else could on their campus. Met Farrakhan. Went backstage, and the man called us backstage and let us meet him. Those are the kind of things that uplift you as a black person.
There you go.
Regardless of what you think about Farrakhan or what you think about Malcolm or what you think about Martin, those thoughts that they have is about true blackness. And so I believed in that while I was at Grambling, and I brought that with me to Dallas. And the first person I met when I came on the practice field was Tony Hill.
Right. Wide receiver, right?
Wide receiver. Tony Hill.
Didn't want to run a route against you, right?
No, you wanted to run a route, but you was like, man, I'm not trying to get into y'all little rookie stuff right here.
Right.
I just want to warm up. Can somebody warm me up? I jumped in front of everybody. I mean, I was elbowing everybody. Let me get in. It's Tony Hill. You looked at me and you said, and you don't even remember this. You looked at me and you said, oh, okay, young fella, what you doing? Look, man, I'm just trying to get out here and warm up is what you said. I don't want anything. I said, I don't care what you come out here to do. I said, you're Tony Hill, and I want to cover you. That's what I said. I stepped up, and you're like, oh, okay. And you ran a little curl route, and I was all over it. It was just a little curl route. You wasn't really trying to beat me. And because I sat down on you, you were like, look, man, you're going to get me hurt. I'm just out here trying to warm up.
Nice.
I said, well, hey, man, you come out here, I got you. And so you lined up. You said, all right, you lined up a second time. And you put some kind of move down on me. And it was very embarrassing because you broke me down. And all the players saw that. So you caught the ball, and you kind of tossed it back at me after you caught it. And so you left. And that was it. I was left with that shame. Right? Okay. So you're looking for me. You knew I was undrafted. Somehow they told you I was undrafted. I was just another little punk out there, right? And when you came to camp, later on, after you guys, rookie camp first, you guys come 10 days after the rookies.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the other guys come 14 days after.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you came in, the first thing you said was, where's that Walls guy? We were already on the field.
So, you done made a statement.
Where's that Walls guy? That's what you asked me. I was nappy-headed. My hair was, you know how it is when you're training camp. My hair was all over the place. We'd been there for 10 days. We hadn't shaved and nothing like that. I said, hey, man, I'm still here.
There you go.
I remember that. I said, I'm still here.
There you go.
And for me to be able to say that I was like, okay. He called my name. He knows my name. That gave me something. Because I was kicking ass before y'all got there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, hey, one thing about Walls, let me tell you something. That's the beauty of the game, though. See, I mean, one thing about Walls was a cluer. We've digressed again, but now we go into the game because we practice all the time, and we always had man-to-man. And plus, I'm talking my smack, and they talking they smack, and they got Gene over there. I want you to stop that, boy. I don't care what you do.
Right.
I want you to stop that heel. Hey, I'm serious. They used to talk, but it was competition. I dug it. But here's the deal, though, on Walls. Only thing I was running on you. To this day, I'm either running a streak or a counter route.
Yeah.
I ain't running no sideline. I ain't running no hook. I ain't running no in route because Walls was what you call a cluer. So what he does, he'd have enough cushion where that he could see the quarterback, on the side of his eye and keep me in front of him. And if I started to break down at 14 or 13, he was already set to make his move.
Because the quarterback
is
set to make the throw.
I got a reputation at stake. I can't afford Walls just come over there. So I'm running nothing but streaks on you. Hey, post quarter. Hey, that's all I ran against you. But that's the thing about it though is that I think it was a blessing that I had you out there because I'm going against one of the best in the league.
Right, makes you better.
You see, it makes you better. You know
At that time, you didn't know that though.
You're exactly right though. But in a sense, I did though. Because I'm going up against other guys, it wasn't nothing for me. Because I've always believed, I believe I can beat any defensive back.
You always said that.
I always believe that.
Yeah.
Always wanted the ball. Don't get it twisted. I always wanted the ball. But you know what? I had Walls over there because Walls did truly always want to cover me. And that's a blessing in itself.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. I'm internally grateful for that. The thing is that I only wish that I would have recognized that earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God is good. He's got his way of working. And again, I'm truly blessed. But I only wish I would have appreciated that more during that time.
At that time, especially with the Cowboys, well, first of all, we always came there with that attitude that it's all about us because we're trying to make the team. So it's all about us. It's all about what we feel, what we see, how we're looked at. So, of course, you're not going to be worried about anybody else. You're not going to be thinking about anybody else's well-being or anything like that because you come here to make that team and not just make the team, but your rep, Ron Springs, your rep is all you got. So you make sure that your reputation out there, you want to make sure people see you as you want to be seen. So nobody's worried about, at the time, we didn't realize what we had with the Cowboys at the time. We didn't realize what was going on in 1981. We didn't realize that Tony Dorsett had his best year in 1981. When I saw that, I just assumed that's the way it was going to be all the time, 1981, because that was a magical year.
Yeah.
You had a hell of a season that year.
Yeah.
Drew had a hell of a year that year.
Right.
Danny White had a hell of a season that year.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of things going on, but to me, that environment with the Cowboys, if you're going to pick a fault of that system, and it was the fact that we were pitted against each other. As an organization, they pitted us against each other. That's just not, it didn't bode well when it came down to having that solid team. That's why we were beaten by the 49ers, because they had a team where they thought that their coach had their best interest at heart. That's what they thought. I've talked to the Niners. I know Dwight Hicks.
Right.
I know Ronnie Lott. I know Eric Wright.
They believed in Walsh.
They believed in Walsh. And if not Walsh, they believed in their defensive coordinator.
You know the defensive coordinator, by the way, was Stanford coach.
Yeah. He's right here. He's right here from Texas.
Right.
Yeah. He's right here from Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
It eludes me.
Rose. Was it Rose? Was it Rose?
Oh, you talking about Ray Rose?
Yeah.
Right, Ray Rose.
Yeah, Ray
right.
Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Ray
Rose is
Rose.
a tough boy.
Hall of Fame. He's made Texas Hall of Fame.
He played with the Giants. You know that, right?
I do know that.
Right.
As a defensive back.
As a defensive
That's right.
back, yeah.
So, no, that they trusted their coaches. our coaches, they had less security than the players.
Yeah.
Even though they were there all that time, they didn't want to be looked at by Tom Landry in a negative light. So everyone was always blaming someone else.
Right, they didn't have your back.
Did you ever hear Tom Landry say, "This game's on me. I should have prepared my guys better"?
No, I've never heard that.
You never heard Tom Landry say that.
I know. All I know is that Tom said we got too many guys think they're coaches, and he was looking directly at me when I was telling him, "Hey, I can beat somebody. Hey, you know, if you want to be coaching on Greenville, you just keep on doing what you do." Danny told the coach this. I said, "Wait, are you serious?" I mean, hey,
see, and that was the environment.
Hey.
That was the environment, and it wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
So when we walked away from that, we're just now realizing just how good some of our teammates were. Nobody wanted to. Gil Brandt wasn't going to tell any media out there that Tony Hill has better numbers than Drew Pearson.
Yeah.
They're not going to say that.
Boom.
You got to say it. We always had to crow for ourselves.
Yeah, you know what's interesting. You know my dad really well, so he's not shy to say what he's done, especially to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's hey, you guys asking me, your dad's a bad man, and I appreciate it. But as I've grown older, I got more perspective, and something that I thought was interesting. When we talked to Drew, Drew was like, "Man, you should have broke my record. You know, hey, you were just right around the corner with plenty of time to do it." And I went, Pops, I'm not gonna lie, I went in this area. I go to the internet, I Google, I fact check.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wait a second. With 8 games left, you only need a few catches to get over the hump. And when I think about you being a number one, not a slot, not a guy like in the prime, you should have had that with plenty of time to spare. And so I hear you say that. I'm curious from both of y'all, man. When I look at the numbers, I look at the stats, and numbers don't lie. You guys should arguably be Hall of Fame, absolutely be Ring of Honor. How does that make you feel now, being able to have that kind of perspective to say, like, we were some bad men? Because you guys should definitely be in there.
Well, let me say this. Walls, here's the interesting thing. And it's really kind of it's a trip that you say that, because see, the bottom line, I was froze, and that's when the bottom line they shut me down.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is that I come off an all pro. I come off an all pro season in '85.
That's right. I was there with you at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. All of a sudden next year I can't catch. I mean, the first 6 games I'm like 3rd in the league in receptions and 2nd in yardage. And the next thing I catch 23 passes on the next 8 games. Now, come on now. I mean, it doesn't take a Phi Beta.
It was less than that. It was like 16. It was ridiculous.
And guess what? We don't make the playoffs.
We don't make the playoffs.
We don't make the playoffs.
And they don't say nothing about their star wide receiver not catching the ball. Come on, explain that to me.
I have always felt that the Cowboys tried to balance something that was impossible to balance. They tried to balance keeping the players in a certain mindset to where you don't think you deserve more money, but also want you to come out there at your highest level and play ball. So which one do you want? You see what I'm saying? Because they want to make sure they're always thinking about saving money. So no matter how good you are, no matter how well the team is doing, they want to win, but they don't want to pay you too much.
All right.
We want to win, but we want to still keep you down because your bonus is coming up. You might have a $10,000 bonus, says you're going to catch 60 passes. All right, well, you got 40 at 8 games.
Yeah.
All I got to do is get 20 more. Damn, I'm not getting no more passes.
Yeah.
And now I get 18 passes. I missed out on my bonus. How was that?
Yeah, well, let's keep it real.
So those kind of things, it lets you know that it was a business here as much as it was about winning.
Well, let's keep it even realer than that, though, Walls. I mean, so here's the deal. I led the team in receiving 9 out of 10 years. That first year, I didn't play. I caught 2 passes. When I caught those 2 passes, Drew came back in the game for me to go out. Hey, we talk about. You said, and you talk about Tony Hill was that first player. When I came to the team, I came here expecting to start. So I was in another world.
Yeah.
The fact that I wasn't going to start, I'm saying, like, hey, because I didn't come here to make the team. I came here to start. See, that's the mentality I had. But the thing is, though, I told Drew, I said, man, hey, here's the deal, man. No matter how good you are, you just like me at Stanford. No matter how good this guy is, he ain't playing in front of me. That's what you lucky. And Drew said, yeah, you better take your butt over here.
Right. Drew was like us.
Yeah, you better keep it real. But so here's the deal, though. I mean, the reality. am I bitter about not being in the Ring of Honor? I guess you could say to a certain extent. I'm
Well,
blessed.
you should be. You should be.
I'm blessed that I had the opportunity to achieve what I had. But here's the deal: 9 years leading the league, leading our team in receiving. 5 NFC Championship games I participated in. I got Drew and I, to the top of the line, and I led the team every year. And don't get me wrong, Drew's a bad boy.
Yeah, we know.
But exactly. I led the team in receiving. You got Swan and Stallworth, and these guys are good. But Hill and Pearson were a beast.
That's right.
But when you put it on top of that, there's. And all of a sudden, I can't make the Ring of Honor, let alone the Hall of Fame. But here's the thing, though, Walls. You led the league in interceptions 3 times. I mean, if you led the league once, you should be in consideration for Ring of Honor. You know what I'm saying?
That's big time.
I'm not talking about Hall of Fame. You lead the league twice, you should be considered for Hall of Fame. Now, you lead the league 3 times, and understand this.
I was 22 years old by the time I led it twice.
Hey, check. 22 years old by the time you led it twice. And here's the thing is that, the fact that you're not in the Ring of Honor from what you've accomplished, and hey, believe me, I believe I should be there. But hey, let me tell you something. I want to go on record right here on air and say, hey, there's no question in my mind that you should definitely be in the Ring of Honor and the Hall of Fame. How you got screwed on both those, I don't know. I hope Jerry's listening.
I mean, we know how. I mean, it's the attitude that I came with to the team. It's the actions that I committed while I was here, meaning. I boldly, tried to buck the system.
You spoke your mind.
And see, now here's the thing. When you talk about yourself and myself, and even Drew, Tom Landry had been in the league a long time. After a while, he saw players like yourself and myself coming in. He was getting too old for that.
Yeah,
he didn't know how to handle that.
We were a new breed.
Yeah, he didn't. Mel Renfro, great dude, but Mel wasn't going to say anything bad to Tom Landry. But they were endeared towards him because he was younger at the time and they could relate. Now he's getting older and the players coming in are getting younger and more brash. Here comes a guy, Tony Hill from Stanford, talking trash about he's going to start. I make that decision. I'm Tom Landry. I make that decision. You can't come in here talking like that. And even with myself, I came in, I'm leading the league in interceptions while I'm still on the bench.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even start me.
Hey, this is a Tony Dorsett story. Hey,
Tony Dorsett. Man, when Tony came, they were not accustomed to a brother like Tony Dorsett coming to Dallas, Texas. You talk about the waves we made. Tony Dorsett made the most waves in the city of Dallas. Forget the Cowboys. Tony came in with a big Lincoln Continental, right? Had something on the back, TD or something was on the back.
Could have put 13 people in that car.
He was in every club.
Hey. It was great. Hey, this thing was wide and long.
It was a limo. That's what it was.
Hey.
And he went around the whole city in every club that he wanted to go to, even though Tom and the guy, hey, Tony, you need to stay, don't go out so much. He wasn't trying to hear that.
Right.
Tom could feel, as well as the organization, that they were really bringing in the wrong type of guys, right? Well, we kept coming because we're not just rambunctious, but we're also talented.
Right.
So you can't get away from that. You bringing in the talent, but then you also bring in the trouble that comes with it, if there is trouble.
Sure.
And he was not accustomed to that. So here we are. You have a one man that votes for the Ring of Honor, and he's in the Cowboys organization. It was Tex Schramm at the time. Now it's Jerry Jones. You're not gonna gain any favor with any of those guys coming in the way that we were. We had to come in another way. It was too late for that because we can't be different than what we are. And that's not what they want in the Ring of Honor. They don't want a Tony Hill type guy in the Ring of Honor. They ain't feeling no Everson Walls in the Ring of Honor either.
Hey.
They're just not feeling it because they have the Darren Woodsons, who's amazing players and amazing people. The guys they have in there, they are amazing people and amazing players. And that's the problem with the Cowboys. They have that luxury of amazing players, so they can pick and choose on who they want to put in there. And that's what we're stuck with because we are part of an amazing group. And so they are lucky enough for them, meaning the organization, the Cowboys organization, they can still thrive and they can flourish in regards to reputations on other guys that are different from ourselves.
Let me close on that. I mean, when I say close, just cap that answer real quick, though, because, see, I mean, that's some interesting stuff. That's some real stuff. Again, here, I'm plugging myself to a certain extent. I played in 5 NFC championships. I led the league. This guy's I led the team. Okay, now, I didn't say the league. I led the team. And I had 1,000 yards. I had 3. I was the first one that had that many 1,000 yards. But I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about a man who's led the league, not only his team, but led the league in interceptions. And then there's 2 other guys that I want to talk about. Harvey Martin and a brother named Ed Too Tall Jones.
Man.
Ed only played for 400 years, and he started for 500 years. Give him some daps. This guy, he was the number 1 draft pick back in '72, whatever it was. Come out of Tennessee State. But the bottom line is that you don't hear a word about him, and Harvey Martin, all this boy could do was rush. He's a co-MVP in the Super Bowl.
Co-MVP of the Super Bowl.
He was a bad boy.
He's played in at least 3 Super Bowls. At least 3 Super Bowls.
He's a bad boy,
And he's from Dallas, man.
And he's
Give
from
this man
Dallas.
some love. He's from Dallas, man.
Hey, well, you know what? I love keeping it real with you, dog, because let me tell you something, man. Hey, you're an inspiration, man. Inspiration, man. Talk to me, man. What do you think?
Hey, we could go on. We could go on all day.
We didn't get to talk about Springs, my boy.
Because we got to, what he said that, though. I know we're supposed to close. I know we got a few minutes, but Ron Springs, man.
Yeah, let's close with that, though.
Let's close with that. Ron Springs.
Yeah, man.
It was my neighbor, lived across the street from me. A lot of stuff happened back in the day. I don't even want to share about that. Bad boy. And you know what? He didn't get his recognition, because he had a bad boy by the name of Tony Dorsett. But the thing about it, if we would have had them both in the backfield at the same time on a consistent basis, on a consistent basis, we really had something.
Let's go back to 1981.
Right.
Great year. Dorsett, probably his best year. Ron Springs had at least 60 receptions that season. Mm-hmm. He went on, and I believe in 1983, he had 73 receptions as a fullback. 73 receptions. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about Moose Johnson, hell of a player, got Super Bowl. I keep trying to tell them, Moose can't compare to Ron Springs. No one wants to hear that. I say it all the time on the podcast I'm on with the Cowboys. Y'all talk about Moose. They talk about him being a receiver. Moose was a receiver? Daryl Johnson was a receiver?
What game was that?
I don't know. What year?
What one game was it? Give me one stat.
They probably threw out some stats like, man, Ron Springs had 73 catches one time, 60 another year. He ran the 47 switch for a touchdown, 40-plus yards. Moose Johnson is not running anywhere 40-plus yards. He could outrun the entire.
Nowhere.
Ron was one of the fastest guys on the team.
Ron could roll. Ron could roll. He was
Tom Landry's favorite because he was intelligent.
Well, he could catch.
Yeah.
And Anthony, he was a basketball player. I like athletes. I can tell an athlete. There's some athletes that are football players. There's some football players and they're athletes. And I can see a football player and a basketball player and other sports. Those are athletes.
That's how the Cowboys would sign players. Right. They would go after those type of players.
Right.
Billy Joe Dupree.
Springs fit that. He met that criteria. And I know a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know that Everson donated his kidney to Ron Springs, who was a diabetic at that time. Mm-hmm. That's some sacrifice, and that's again, like I said, you're a true Hall of Famer in my eyes.
Yeah. Let's look at this. Well, I appreciate that, by the way.
Absolutely.
But let's look at this. Let's just flip it. If I was Daryl Johnson and I gave my kidney to Troy Aikman, what do you think they would make? What do you think they would make out of that? What do you think the public would make out of that?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Let's just think about what comparison would be. Me and Ron versus you could pick any superstars for the Cowboys that were favored.
I bet you I wouldn't have to Google it. I would have heard about it.
You would have. Yes, that's right. You would still be hearing about it. They'd probably have a statue up there of us or something like that. Yeah. So those kind of things. That's not obviously why I did that kind of thing. But I know that. I'm just being realistic. If it happened to two other people, it would be thought of in a different light.
That's special. And as we always close this show, we talk like a little bit about family. We always got to figure out what everyone's favorite breakfast is. It's authentic. But you know, when you do things like that for a close teammate, like that is family. You know, that's love. And
There's no doubt. He was family.
Right.
That's why I did it.
Yeah.
Everybody said, well, that's something you do for family. Well, he was family. But to this day, his wife and my wife are still best friends.
Funniest man in the world.
Bar none. Bar none.
This idea, he missed his call.
he should have been a comedian.
Hold up, guys. He warmed up for his homeboy. That's just the way it is. What's the white dude? That's just the way it is. Dun, dun, dun,
Oh, boy,
dun, dun.
don't give me.
That's his. They grew up together.
You talking about
He's a musician.
yeah, from Virginia, right?
From Virginia,
Right.
right there in
He played in my.
Williamsburg.
He played in my.
Of course he did. His son played
Texas Shot
basketball
Club.
as well. All I'm trying to say is he warmed up for him at a concert. He warmed up for a entertainer at a concert.
Yeah.
He's out
A
there
different
telling
breed.
jokes. He was the warm up, telling jokes.
My man is the real deal. I mean, he's just a natural, though. You know, like your boy that's got the big eyes. Benny, not Benny, what's the brother that passed away? You know, the comedian.
Robert
Bernie Mac?
Harris?
Bernie Mac. He's
Bernie.
Bernie Mac, man. Bernie Mac all the
He was
way
Bernie Mac.
and natural. You know what I'm saying?
he was Bernie Mac.
Natural. Hey, but so as we close, because I mean they've been booming.
Yeah, I
booming,
know,
man.
I know.
There's a couple things like you talk to me about your family, man. Talk to me.
Man,
Man.
my wife Sherelle, 2 kids, my daughter Charis, my son Cameron. My daughter was born, remember she was born 2.5 months premature. She almost didn't make it. That's my girl. She's doing well right now. She's an influencer on the
Nice.
internet.
An
She's
influencer,
beautiful.
huh?
Man, she's beautiful, man. She used to hang out with Cassie
I was
all
gonna say
the
she
time.
probably know Cassie.
Yeah,
man.
they,
She
they hung out
influenced
all
her,
the time back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, my son Cameron, he's a chef at Intuit, a master chef. No,
Master chef.
He's the man, dude.
Oh, snap.
This guy.
Anniversary coming up?
Dude.
Hey,
He might need to have him breakfast with the boys.
You got to come with it, though.
Oh, okay.
You got to come with it because he ain't cheap.
See, that's a proud father right there. You know, he give us a scoop about what he does, but he said, "Hey, I want to make sure you understand. Can you hear there's a
money
price
talks.
that come with that?" Hey, Walls. So when we eat, man, it's breakfast with the boys. You get a chance to pick whatever you want. Back when I played, I never ate before a game.
Yeah,
you know,
not me either.
Right, never ate before a game.
No, I don't care if it's a night game.
Right.
I didn't eat.
I didn't eat.
I
either.
can't eat.
Yeah. So I guess and Drew says he don't eat now. Basically,
You
know.
can tell.
but favorite food. What's your favorite breakfast?
You know, I used to like nothing but beef and sausage and stuff. Then I got with my boy Ron Springs. I started liking seafood all the damn time.
Would you have it for breakfast though?
Yes.
But he might
come
put
on,
shrimps
man.
in his. You put shrimp in your grits.
Shrimp in your grits. Come
There you
on,
go.
man.
Okay,
You could put crab meat in your omelet, man. Come
No,
on.
I didn't say you couldn't. No, because we hit T up, you know, and I told T I'm a eggs and grits, and you know.
Hey,
so-
he called it though. Shrimp and grits. That's
right,
the best
so-
breakfast you can have.
So T told me like grits, right? And so Ants hit him up like, what are you?
Sugar or salt?
Sugar or salt. I said, what? It's sugar or salt.
Salt.
Yeah.
Hey, you see?
Salt and grits. You don't put no sugar in grits.
Okay.
Hey man, I've had some interesting roommates and teammates. Man, it's a polarizing topic. Some people go sugar.
I used to when I was a kid till I became a man. When you're a man, you got salt go with
we
grits.
got to close with that, baby. Hey, you know what? Here's good, man. Man, true blessing to have you, man.
Thank you,
I
bro.
hope we can get you back on. You know,
Oh, man, anytime,
we
bro.
just trying to
We
rock
got
and
more
roll,
to
trying to
talk
make it,
about.
man. But
We
yeah,
got more to talk
we got a whole
about.
lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But hey, for anybody that's listening, I'm going to throw 4 people's names, including myself.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to remember Everson Walls, Harvey Martin, Ed Too Tall Jones, and Tony Thrill Hill.
That's it.
We need to be there.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll see y'all next week on Breakfast with the Boys.
Be blessed.
Thank you, Anthony.
Have you ever took a journey to the other side? Come on, take a ride. Have you ever took a journey? We gon' feel alive. You gon' feel